Welcome to Momtroversial, the podcast that dives headfirst into the beautiful chaos of motherhood and dishes on the stuff we wish we would have known and nobody tells you. I'm Leah, your scrunchy nurse riding the Hot Mess Express, here to remind you that it's fine, we're fine, and everything's fine.
I just burped. Sorry. Market. I'm Alyssa, a crunchy mom who's all about organic living. I'm organized, opinionated, and your designated wing woman in any parenting bar fight. Did you hear me? I was so loud.
I heard you. Can you guys tell these pregnant ladies are deep in the throes of pregnancy?
I borderline
and
don't want to
motherhood?
delete that. That's just real.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, I freaking love that. It's because you're drinking something bubbly, aren't you? Is that not like is that a bubbly?
I am drinking Just Ingredients, like their version of an energy drink. And it's the only reason I have survived my pregnancy so far, honestly.
Yo, can we talk about the fact I know if you guys have been following our episodes, we just did one on pregnancy by trimester. If you're new here, welcome. I am 27 weeks pregnant and Alyssa is like 19 weeks pregnant, correct?
I wish. 18.
No, okay. I was going to say, I know you're like 2 months behind me, but
You're right.
let me tell you, the past 2 or 3 weeks, the pregnancy insomnia, I've never experienced this with either of my other kids, has been so real. And I am like just so chronically tired because even when I have time to sleep and I want to sleep, I don't stay asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm just, bro, I'm like, I need some energy drinks in my life too. But like, I don't have any desire for coffee. So then that means I got to just hit the hard energy drinks. And I'm like, well, that's not good for you either. So I'm going to have to look up the just ingredients.
Yeah. They're not bad for you. I mean, I'm not going to say they're like good for you, but they're, miles better than a monster.
Yeah.
So I don't like
monsters. I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah.
Travis does Celsius. That's like his go-to, which like I don't mind Celsius, but like I can't drink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't have a Celsius in the morning and a Celsius in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Pregnant. I mean, I guess I could, but
I'm not really a caffeine person. Like on a normal Tuesday, like I'm not drinking caffeine. I don't like, if we go out to eat or something, I might have a Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper, but like I don't love it as much anymore knowing what's in it. So I'm like, I don't really drink caffeine. I don't drink tea. I don't drink coffee. But this has been a lifesaver because I can't make it through the afternoon without it.
No, I feel that. I literally said something the other day. Oh, it was yesterday. I said something about Dawn dish soap and having ingredients, like toxic ingredients in it. And Travis looked at me. We were at the food court at the Exchange eating lunch. And he looked at me and he's like, what did you just say? And I said, Dawn dish soap, like, although you think it's better, it still does have bad ingredients in it, toxic ingredients. And he said, says the woman as she's drinking a Dr. Pepper that probably has just as many toxic ingredients. And I said, whoa, don't be coming at me for my one-off Dr. Pepper. As I'm growing your child. Oh, that's funny. So, anywho, friends, we are back for another episode of Book Talk. The last time we did a Book Talk episode, you guys just got me and Tori. And if we're all going to be honest here, out of the three of us, Alyssa is the one who has the most tea on all things reading because she is just a powerhouse when it comes to reading. So we're doing another episode to catch up with Alyssa and what she has read on her TBR and recommendations that she has. And then I think since our last episode, I have also finished one book and started another. So let's dive into it. I want to know, out of the books you've read since our last TBR that you were on, I want to know your favorite book and your least favorite book.
I'm
out of all of
trying
the
to
books you've read?
remember. I think the last book talk I was on, I was finishing Carissa Broadbent's
Yes,
Serpent and Wings
Nyaxia,
of the
Crown of
Night.
Nyaxia.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it did end pretty well. I was glad that I kept reading. There's still like another duology in the world, but not like totally connected coming out.
Right.
In the next few years or whatever. But I did appreciate that she does it kind of in duologies so that I don't feel like I need to wait to like read the whole
Right.
series, you know? But after that, I read this series. What's it called? The Kingmaker Chronicles. I'm looking at my Kindle right now. And honestly, it was one of the best series I've read in a really long time. It's loosely based on Greek well, actually not very loosely. It's pretty strongly based in Greek mythology. And I love Greek mythology. Like growing up, Greek and Roman mythology, that was my jam. Whenever we were covering that kind of thing in school, I was so pleased.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Kingmaker Chronicles. The first one's called A Promise of Fire, and it's by Amanda Bouchet. And like seriously one of the best books I've ever read, or series I've ever read. I was so pleased with it, and I really couldn't put it down. It's 5 books. It's 5 books plus a novella.
Yes, it's 5 books.
Yeah.
Okay. And book 1 through 3, I think Tori read it, right? And book 1 through 3 is like the same. And then book 4 and 5 is still the same story, but you're just following different characters in the story.
Which I loved because she developed her characters so well that I was obsessed with them and I wanted like more of them. And so
you're okay with it, yeah.
Yeah, we got more of them and I was so happy about it. Versus like Crowns of Nyaxia, I was like, we can learn about these characters, but like I don't really care that much, you know?
Yeah. No, that's super valid.
Yeah, very pleased. After that, I was a little bit like, I mean, I very rarely take breaks because I just like to read and I get bored if I don't read something. But I was like genuinely worried, like, am I gonna like find something that I really like? And I actually did. So that was exciting. It's called Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. It's another completed series because I'm really on that completed series train.
Which I can totally respect.
Yeah, it's just like I cannot take another Onyx Storm hangover. I can't do it. Please don't make me.
Bro, I don't want to talk about it. Every time people talk about it, I just like start twitching and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
When the reels come up, I'm like, I don't even want to know because I just can't. I cannot dedicate.
Don't talk about the 12 hours, guys. Don't talk about the 12 hours. I don't freaking care. I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah. They don't exist until 2027 or whenever that next freaking book is coming out.
Exactly. Yeah. So A Dawn of Onyx, that's a trilogy. Yeah. I'm looking at it on my phone right now. Okay. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. I want to say it's 4 books, but you're probably right. It's probably a trilogy. Oh no, sorry. You're right. It is a trilogy. The other one is 4. But yeah, it was really good. Again, I thought, so like my big thing and something I loved about the Kingmaker Chronicles, great writing, in my opinion. I don't like it when authors get really wordy and like I like you to like leave something to the imagination. I have a brain, I can infer things, you know, versus like filling the book with dialogue or filling it too much with their thoughts. I'm like, bro, chill. And it like feels cheesy to me. I don't like it. And I thought these 2 authors did a great job of that. So I've actually only read the first one because they shut down Anna's archive. So now I'm a peasant going through Libby. And
peasant, dude. Or you're having to pay for it. Like I'm having to pay for Kindle Unlimited. And I'm like, wait a minute. This sucks.
Yeah, terrible. So I actually just yesterday got a notification that the second book, my hold was up. So I got to get going because I have a couple books more that I have to read before I get to that one.
Oh my gosh.
3-week hold, so it's a whole thing. But yeah, loved it. And I loved how it ended up. It's not like, without spoiling anything, Dawn of Onyx, it's like very much slow burn, but like also not just like totally happy ever after, like right away, which I kind of appreciate,
Right.
like there's still conflict. And I like,
Yep.
as much as I love a happily ever after, and it better end happily ever after, I don't want it to just be
Right.
like easy, smooth sailing the whole series, because then I'm like, well, what am I reading?
So valid.
But also I want them to be together and still like each other and still be bantering, and it's it's hard to please.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's why I actually prefer the tropes, the bait and switch tropes. I actually prefer the tropes where you think it's going to be somebody else, especially with the romantasy. You think they're going to end up with somebody else, or they start with somebody else. And
Yeah.
then you have that third character come in, unless it's like really good writing, right? Because that's like one thing, for example, with the Empyrean series, Rebecca Yarros has said, Xaden and Violet are endgame. Since she doesn't do those other tropes, Xaden and Violet are endgame. Therefore, that's why there's so much conflict and so many things that she has to creatively, as an author, be able to weave into the story to keep you interested in their story. Versus, I don't think that there's a ton of authors who can necessarily do that super well
I
over
agree.
multiple books. So I really like that bait and switch trope where you're like, you think it's this person and then it ends up being this person. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, and then you as the reader have to cope with your feelings because you started to like this person, but
Yeah.
now they like this person. You're like, wait a minute, I don't know how I feel about this. So then it gets you all in your feels and you're all over the place. Because yeah, I don't like the happily that, to me, if there's no conflict or if there's no story in it, then I get bored with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
So
also, like, if they can do that well, like the bait and switch, because sometimes, the book starts and I'm like, okay, well, like, this is
yeah, oh
obviously
yeah.
not her guy. So I'll just like chill and just wait until he goes away, I guess.
Be like whatever with it or what.
Yeah. Or they introduce a new one. You're like, okay, so this is it, obviously. Like, give me a little suspense. Um, but yeah, the other book series that I started, and I actually probably will not continue, which was kind of sad because I wanted to like it, is The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. And
The
it
North
was,
Wind.
yeah, it's a 4-book series. And it's like, this
Okay.
book was
Oh, it's
loosely
Persephone.
based. Well, so the first book is loosely based on like Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
And the second book is loosely based on Persephone and Hades, as far as I can tell, at least.
Uh-huh.
But the second book focuses on this character that, like, I mean, he was the bad guy, and I didn't like. I didn't even have any attachment to him as the bad guy, So I'm like, I just don't really want
Yeah.
to read about you. Rather not.
Mm-hmm.
And the book was like overall just fine, anyways. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the thing, like, I like the retellings of the classics and that kind of thing, but also it's hard because it's so predictable, and you're like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
like, based on everything, like, there's no suspense. I know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of, I'm like, nah. So
Yeah. Yeah. What else have you read? What else has been on your since the last time we talked?
oh, okay, well, let me pull you. Ryan and I have been reading a not romantasy book.
Yeah.
He doesn't read those. He refuses. I
Travis
did make
started
him
Fourth Wing and never finished.
I did make Ryan read ACOTAR, and that was the biggest, just the first, just A Court of Thorns and Roses, and that was the biggest mistake of my life, to like make that the book,
Yeah.
because it's just not like you have to read the second book for the first part to be good, and like, he was like, no shot. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. But yeah,
so
we've been reading a book that my parents recommended to us. Actually, my mom sent it to me. It's called Love and Logic. Have you heard of it?
No, I'm intrigued though.
It's very much from like our childhoods. Like it was their parenting book that they read. And it's actually been really interesting. It's been a great book. We're like only a few chapters into it. But a lot of like, I feel like we maybe talked about this on the podcast before. Like many people have like asked me, just different people, different times, whatever, like, you're really confident. Why are you so confident? And we are reading this book. And as we're reading through this book, I'm like, oh, I think this might be it. I think that this is it. Why? Just the way they talk about like parenting and stuff. And they talk about now I'm not going to remember what they call it. It's essentially self-confidence though. And when kids, this one is geared towards like baby to 6 years old. And when you're younger, I think the first 2 years of your life are like the most like
2 or 3
defining.
years. That's most formative. Yeah, that's most important for you to have that bond, that parental.
Well, parental bond, and also developing your personality as well. So they talk about how they talk about giving choices. So your child feels like they are in control, and they feel like they feel like they're capable of making choices, and making the right choice. So it's lots of making choices. It's lots of noticing things, which is really funny because one of the exercises that they had us do recently was just tell your child that you noticed something, and not that it was good or bad, just that you noticed it. And so at the park, I told Reagan, I said, I noticed you really like the swing, Reagan. And she goes, what? And I was like, I just noticed you like the swing. And she goes, okay. And moved on. I was like, I don't know if that worked or not. But it's That's really, so yeah, it's really a lot of like watching your tone of voice, and your kid is going to do something, you say, okay, well, you have a choice here. You can do that, and this is the consequence, or you can not do it, and this is the consequence. Like kind of inferring that consequences can be good and bad. And like using kind of like a sing-songy, okay, well, like purposefully cheerful voice type thing. And, and just saying like, uh-oh, I don't know about that, like that kind of thing. And how the kids like will respond, especially as it's more consistent. And I will say, like, pairing that with the choices thing, especially telling them, you have a choice to not listen to mommy, and this is what's going to happen. Or you have a choice to obey and pick up your toys, and this is what's going to happen. And it's really been a really interesting book, and I would highly recommend it. Couldn't tell you who it's by.
That sounds like a lot of the parenting books I've read, because like we've talked about previously, am big on reading. Like there's somebody out there who's always smarter than you, and who has done more research and spent more time on topics. And I'm all about, if I don't feel 100% confident on what to do, I'm going to read a book on it. And most of the parenting books I've read have talked about that. And I do have to say that I've noticed a difference, and especially when it comes to emotional regulation of Declan versus other kids. Now, don't get me wrong, homie's 3. He still has big feelings. We will still have throwdown tantrums or getting upset because we're finding our voice, we're finding what we like, what we don't like, and if it is a situation, for example, with our Yodo, where mom says the time for the Yodo is up for the day and he's not done with the Yodo for the day, he'll get upset, which is fine. But he is actually very empathetic, which I'm really impressed by. And it's, I think, because of all of these things that I've read in these books that sound very similar to that, where even, for example, if I lose my tone of voice or I raise my volume with them too much simply because I'm overwhelmed or I'm impatient or I'm not in control, I always come back and I will apologize. Just because I'm your mom doesn't mean it's okay for me to take out my big feelings on you, just like it's not okay for you to take out your big feelings on me. We can deal with our feelings together, but not take them out on each other. And I'll go and apologize. And it is so interesting because it's usually in those moments or moments where Ella gets upset or something, where he'll be like, Mommy, are you okay? Mommy, you having big feelings? Mommy, you feel better now? Or I'll apologize and I'll say, Deck, I'm so sorry that Mommy raised my voice at you. Mommy was having a lot of big feelings and Mommy lost control of my big feelings and didn't respond how I should, and it's not your fault. And he'll be like, it's okay, Mommy. I forgive you. Do you feel better now? You want a hug?
Cutie.
You know, and
Yeah.
right. And I feel like he's instinctive. He's getting to the point where he's instinctive on apologizing to people or checking on people. He will come and tell me if he hits somebody because he's 3 and that's still like a developmental thing, especially with boys.
Yeah.
He'll come say, hey, Mommy, he did this the other day at church. I hit Charlie. I said I was sorry and I checked on him. Like, and he'll come and tell me, you know, rather than like, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm proud of you for doing the right thing and I'm proud of you for telling me. And then I'll go check on Charlie too, or like whatever. But those books are so helpful, and the choices are helpful too, because 99% of the time I give Declan choices and he will choose one of my 2 choices. If he decides not to choose, then I tell him, well, here's your option. You can make a decision or Mommy's going to count to 5 and Mommy will make the decision for you.
Yep.
And, you know, and it is helpful. It does eliminate a lot of battles. But you as a parent, which I wonder, did your book mention it? You do have to be patient when you present them with the choice, because it takes children on average
like 8 seconds
30
or
to
something.
60 seconds or something like that to hear what you've said, process what you've said, and then they have to respond. So they're not as inept as adults are to responding quickly. So you do have to be patient if you're going to do the choices thing. And these books are really great for talking about it. To sit there, straight face, no smiling or giggling, because then they'll think it's a game. But straight face, you just sit there and look at them and just wait for them to make the choice. And then if you're still, after a minute, they're not making the choice, then you do another choice option. But I'm so happy that you guys are reading that book. That's like up my alley. I just added it to my TBR because I'm finishing. Have you read Barefoot and Balanced?
Definitely not. But I bet it's great.
I was gonna say that's my like parenting book I'm reading right now is Barefoot and Balanced, and it's phenomenal. It's about kids being outside. Kids needing to be outside for development, and kids, for example, needing to be barefoot, or kids needing to have as minimal shoe as possible. So, for example, if you want to do shoes, the barefoot shoes.
We love our
for helping them.
Shoes.
Yeah, we do too. For helping them physically and emotionally develop. To be totally honest with you, this book has made me feel better about the fact that Declan is really hard to get shoes on him. Homie doesn't want to wear shoes ever. And I do have to say this has made me feel better about him never wanting to wear shoes, because I'm like, okay, well, it's good for you as long as we're going, like we're in an environment where it's okay. Yeah. It's a safe place for you, then that's fine. But it talks about just physically and developmentally being outside and unstructured free play outside, how good it is for kids. And it's really good. So I'm going to read your book after I finish Barefoot and Balanced. I think I do audiobooks for my, I say real books, for my real life books.
Yeah.
Because struggle, especially being pregnant. If I sit down to read and it doesn't entertain me, I will fall asleep or I'll get sleepy. So I'll do audiobooks while I'm doing the chores.
That's smart.
And that's how I get through those books. So I'm going to do that one next, though, because Love and Logic, I feel like I don't know. I am emotional, but I am very logical when it comes to like processing and dealing with feelings, unless I'm pregnant and then I'm hormonal. And I realize, like, I've had to have several conversations with Travis the past couple weeks where I'm like, I've been hormonal and I'm sorry. It's not your fault. I have had no control over my emotions. When normally I'm very like, it's not logical for me to be upset right now, or it's not logical for me to cry or to just be angry. So I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make sense. And he's like, are you a robot? I don't understand. Versus when I'm pregnant, I'm like all hormones. And I'm like, ah. Yeah. So
it's
that's
really good.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys.
Yeah. I feel like it's like, I feel like most people would say like their parents didn't raise them that way, like people our age. Although I will say my parents are young. So like that maybe they just got on the end of that train or whatever. But it's just very interesting because I feel like there's been like, there was the really like, you know, I'm going to beat you in a submission parenting. And then there was the gentle parenting train. I feel like we're all coming out of gentle parenting because we're realizing it doesn't work at all. And kind of moving into this logical parenting. Tori has the official names for that. But it's just really interesting because my mom was like, you need to read this book. We read it as when we were like having you guys, and it was really helpful. And they always, because they're like past kids and they do a lot with our church, like they'll teach these classes. So like, we need you to read and then report back what you think so that we can teach the course to other people.
I love it.
Yeah. But it's been really interesting to read and also to see, like my mom did that. My dad did that. It's interesting.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it is really interesting. Well, because I think when it comes to parenting, what a lot of us don't realize is your default setting as a parent is going to be the way you were raised.
Yeah.
Whether good or bad, period. And a lot of people, and this is just my personal opinion, talk about the mother's instinct or your mother's intuition. And they say, just trust your instinct or just trust your intuition. And I have to be totally honest. I think that that's a load of bull crap. Unless you were raised in a way that you are okay mirroring of your parents, right? So my instinct can be that, for example, which was when I started my journey of wanting to read all the books and stuff, that something's not right. I'm not loving this, but I don't know what to do different, you know? And then, but if I don't know what to do, or my gut instinct doesn't tell me what to do, then I have to look into another resource somewhere else. And I think that the mother's instinct, I don't know, I just feel that it puts a lot of pressure on moms, because if you mess up, then you feel as if you are innately wrong or the problem, rather than just realizing you literally go to school to be a doctor, to perform surgeries and spend years of learning and training for this job. And parenting is one of the most important jobs you're ever going to have. But none of us really get any training on it outside of the way we were raised.
I think in my PWOC here, I'm doing a study on Proverbs and like wisdom. And we were talking about the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Like you have knowledge, but wisdom is how you apply that knowledge. And I think like kind of like that, you have to, I think instincts are good, but you also have to train them. And to train them, you need knowledge. And then your instincts can be either wise or not. But I think I agree with what you're saying. Like
that's
just
good.
like base instincts, I don't think really can always be helpful. You know, am I in a good or a bad situation and I have a bad feeling about it? Okay, yeah, get the heck out of there. But like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, back to books.
Yes.
The only book I think I've read since the last book talk episode, even though I had read a couple in between when you weren't here, is a standalone book that I fully finished. I know that you're not 100% on standalones. However,
I'll add
that
it.
being said, this was a 700-page almost standalone.
Oh, okay. I can get on board with that.
Okay.
I write it down.
So it was a thick book. It's called The Poison Daughter.
Okay. Tori was raving about this too.
I recommended it to Tori because I needed a palate cleanser. I needed something a little bit different. I was also tired of unfinished series and or starting series and not loving them. And I devoured that book. I feel like it's a true enemies to lovers trope. There's a plot twist at the end that you never see coming. It's on Kindle Unlimited though.
I don't have that, but I might be getting it.
That's really sad. That's really
I might
sad.
need to get it. I've just been like trying to work with Libby, by Sheila Masterson.
Yeah. And it's really good. It's a world of magic.
It's $5.
Humans versus the magic, and then the like bad or the evil force or whatever that you're aware of is feeders, or they call them, what do they call them? The drained, I think is what they call them, where it's basically like not vampires, but as if a vampire were to like suck the blood out of somebody or bite somebody. It's almost Jennifer Armentrout from Blood and Ash.
Okay. Oh, like
Vampire. Right? Aren't there feeders? You know what I'm talking about? Aren't there feeders in that one? The Craven. It's like Craven.
Kind of, yeah.
It's okay. So it's kind of Craven-y. You only encounter them like a couple of times, but they're like the looming bad. But it's really interesting. It has a really good plot twist. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I loved it. It was so good. And then I started the Bloodwing Academy. It's a series. The 3rd book comes out in March. And I started that one. I'm 50% in. I got to be honest, I'm not super hooked yet. And I have been debating stopping it the entire time because I'm just not super into it. It's fae, it's vampires, it's humans. It was recommended if you like Fourth Wing because it is academy setting and it's like a school of vampires. But I don't know. I'm just struggling through that one right now. I'll let you guys know if it gets better. But that's why I'm only 50% of the way in. I started it like a week and a half ago. But I literally, every time I lay down to read it at night before bed, I'm so tired and it doesn't keep my interest enough that I get more than a couple pages and I have to go to sleep. So I'm committed to finishing the first book because I know that there are a lot of series where you have to get through the first book. And if I finish the first book and I still feel this way, I'm just not going to finish the series.
I feel like academy books for me are like so hit or miss because a lot of them are like such young kids, I think like part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also just don't like gravitate towards them, which is probably like, I just don't read a lot of them. But like sometimes they're so good. Like Fourth Wing is so great, but I feel like they're more adulty in Fourth Wing. Just because of the nature of their lives, I guess.
Which this one, the main characters, they're in their like mid-late 20s in this one. So it's academy, but they're older, which I can appreciate. Yeah, but it's just, I think maybe that's part of what's throwing me off too, though, because, I mean, it is more adult-y, but it's academy, so I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know how it goes at the next book talk episode. So, but that's it. That's it for me since the last time we did it. And Poison Daughter is a 10 out of 10. It's a freaking great palate cleanser, and it's a phenomenal read. And it's a thick standalone. I don't like standalones if they're small because I don't feel like that's enough time to get a full story in if you're only doing one book.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
But this one's a thick boy.
Pages. Yeah, I could do that.
I know. And I was intrigued the whole time. Like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? So, all right. Well, do you have any other books you want to share for book talk before we go into Momtroversial Moment?
I have one more that I started. I'm actually on book 2 of the series, and I'm not going to say what it is because we actually have the author scheduled to come on the podcast, and we are like totally losing our minds over it. But I will say the story so far is amazing. The main male character, big fan. And like I am hooked on the story. I love it. So we'll like give you more details as it gets closer to recording with her. But it's just super exciting for us because like a real live author is going to come talk to us about our favorite things.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then in that case, we're going to pivot and we're going to go to Momtroversial Moment of the week. So these are the moments that make us laugh, the moments that make us cry, and the moments that make us say, yep, that's mom life. And my moment this week, you're going to really appreciate. The air quality here in South Korea has been absolute dumpster fire. It's been so bad this winter, and particularly the last couple weeks has just gotten worse to where like this winter has not been cold by Korea standards, which you're like, okay, well, that's cool. But then at the same time, like you can't go outside because it's been so thick, bad air quality to where you can see it, you can feel it, you can smell it, you can taste it. Literally and it's poison. Funny, literally poison. We got in the car the other day and we're driving. I don't even remember where we were driving, but we were driving somewhere. And Declan looks out the window and he says, oof, mommy, that air quality is bad today. And I just started dying because it was out of nowhere. He's 3. And you know, as a mom, how you just passively say things in front of your kids or to your kids without realizing that they're actually paying attention to you. That's one of those things that I've been saying in front of him that he's been paying attention to without realizing is I say, oh, the air quality is really bad today. Look at how foggy it is outside. Or look at how gross it looks outside. You can't see the sun, whatever. And so he's caught on to it. And so that was my moment. And I was thinking to myself, man, Alyssa and Tori are really going to appreciate this and the like observation. Yeah. I thought it was so good.
I love that. Go Decky. Be aware of your surroundings, buddy.
I know.
My Momtroversial moment has been centered around the Olympics. We've been watching just the USA primetime recap, usually after dinner or during dinner every night. Kind of. And we asked the girls what their favorite Olympic sport was. And Reagan goes, the runaway carts. And we were like, what are those? And she was like, the runaway carts. Like, that's the runaway carts. And so we've narrowed it down. We still don't know exactly what it is, but we think she's talking about either luge or bobsled. But that's Reagan's favorite Olympic sport, the runaway carts.
The runaway carts.
Yeah, naturally.
I love it. That's actually such a good idea of a way to cover the Olympics because I don't have time to sit down and watch all the events.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily want
like Travis,
to.
Every time we see the commercials, but Trav's really interested, so we should start doing that.
It's real handy.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Right, Reagan and the runaway carts and Declan and his bad air quality. These kids keeping us on our toes.
I love it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today to talk about the wilder side of motherhood, the things that we enjoy to do for self-care in our book talk episodes. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, as if any other podcast you enjoy listening to, please take time to like, rate, review us on any of the platforms that you're listening to. And if you have anything you'd specifically like to hear us talk about at Momtroversial, then just find us on Instagram at Momtroversial Podcast and send us a DM. And until next time, keep it Momtroversial.
Bye.
Bye.